Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of the Global CTE Podcast. I am Sylvester Chisom, your host, where we find incredible individuals who are working on transforming lives and preparing our students for the global marketplace. Today, we have a very, very, very special guest all the way from Nairobi, Kenya, my good friend, Madam Edna of ZinduaKaria. Is that correct? Did I say it right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Now let me tell you about this organization. In Nairobi, Kenya, it's a youth serving organization that is focused on transforming under 35 youth in Africa who are poorly reached, forgotten, marginalized, and overlooked by designing and delivering quality, innovative, and disruptive career education, information, advice, and guidance programs and content that connects them to economic and employment opportunities for upward social mobility. Listen, I am so impressed and inspired by what you are doing. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being on the show today. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you for inviting me, Sylvester. Really nice to
Oh,
be here.
yes, my pleasure. Now, I know before the pandemic hit, you all were serving over 400 students. Like, that is really a phenomenal feat to do that. Can you just share a little bit about, like, what's your why? Like, how did you even get started
Mhm.
with creating this organization?
Mhm. Okay. Well, I could say the beginning was I worked as a HR for many years, human resources, as the head of human resources. And in my work, I came across young people who had great opportunities, great jobs, but they couldn't sustain them. Or in interviews, they found it really difficult to express themselves and be able to get the job that you could see they really want. And they would just disqualify themselves because in my mind, I was thinking they're not prepared, but not very many interviewers would be thinking that way. And so this is why I felt that young people need support and mentorship that can guide them to discover their talents, help them build the self-confidence that they need to see they can do great stuff in their future, build clarity on, what is possible in the future and what they can do, and even be able to know how to get there. So that's how it started.
I love it. And so I'm curious. It sounds like I hear some of the similar issues that we have in America in terms of trying to keep students engaged.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and is that something that you feel like, your organization really tries to lock in on, trying to personalize the education to prepare
Yeah.
students for careers?
Yes. Actually, we are so focused on bringing back hope to the education system among young people because I was telling you earlier, we have incidences here in Kenya where young people are burning up their own schools. And that's because they feel that the school or the education system is not really preparing them for success in their future. And I feel that our curriculum, our programs would help bring that connection for the young person. I personally don't believe that there is no connection between what they're learning in school and how the future would be for them. I personally believe what they're learning in school is a good preparation ground. They
Okay.
just can't see it. And I think the teachers are doing an amazing job. It's just that there is that missing element of, okay, so where is the connection really? Where is the bridge? Okay, you're telling me to cram all this mathematics and physics, but how is it going to help me in the future? Then I feel like career mentorship would do this for them. It would be able to connect for them what they're doing in high school and how it's preparing them for future.
Listen, Madam Edna, that is like personalizing the learning is something that we spend a lot of time talking about and making that connection, because if it's like if you don't make the connection with the students, then they're lost. And so you're saying like your students in Kenya feel so strongly about that disconnect that they're burning the schools down. Wow.
Yeah, and it's mostly students who are in the national curriculum program.
Okay.
So a lot of this experience is not felt among students in the international curriculum programs. So it's the national curriculum program, which demands a lot
Okay.
of intellectual engagement from the student. Like the student needs to remember a number of things, and the final exam that transitions them to the next level tests their ability to remember, and the pass mark is usually more than 75% on most subjects for them to have any chance to go to a really, really good next level, like from primary school to the next really good high school, and from high school to the next maybe popular university where they teach well. Yeah.
So it's more focused on memorization than like critical thinking skills, applying the
Yeah.
knowledge to a particular career field.
Yeah.
And that's, if I'm hearing you correct, that's where you come in and you fill the gap with when you come into the schools. Is that correct? With the career preparation.
Yeah. So
So how do
my
you,
goal is
I'm sorry, go ahead.
my goal is so that the curriculum helps them see, even if you feel like it's daunting right now, you're being made to memorize so many things, you don't see how it's going to help you in the future, try and see what that actually means. So we have programs like telling them, when you're learning English, what kind of careers or what kind of career skills do you learn when you're learning English, when you're learning physics and geography. CRE, we have a subject called CRE, the Christian Religious Education. And for those who are non-Christians, they're a particular religion, like the Muslims, they would learn Muslim religious education, Islam. So our goal now is to go in there and say, all these subjects give you skills that are fundamental and foundational for success in your future, and here's how. So we've put that in the program, and many other activities that we put in the program to help them see what they're doing in school, even if it's extracurricular, like just being in a team, working as a teammate, winning and losing and learning how to, gracefully lose, gracefully win as well. How does that prepare you for a job in the future? Yeah.
It's so interesting. It's like we're like worlds apart in terms of miles, but the youth are still experiencing the same sort of issues or the disconnect, and the necessary thing that you're doing is making that connection. And I like how you're making it more interdisciplinary instead of just saying like, oh, it's English, but it's like, no, it's English, and let me tell you the careers that could tie into this. Can you talk to me about like some of your some of the careers that you're trying to prepare students for? Like, I'm just curious.
Yeah, so in the past, we've tried to prepare them for entrepreneurship.
Okay.
And I particularly remember in 2019, I held a holiday program where I had 6 students who got enrolled, and they learned entrepreneurship. So we taught them the business model Canva. We taught them the ideation. I brought in mentors who talked to them about budgeting for your business, solving the problem for community, being a manager of a business. What does that mean in terms of hiring people? And then we taught them the 60-second elevator pitch.
Okay.
How do you do it? And they had to present. They had to present in front of a panel of entrepreneurs who gave feedback and criticized their ideas. Yeah, so I believe entrepreneurship is one of the areas where young people should be pushed to, because entrepreneurship It's kind of well-rounded in the sense that it teaches you how to manage your own personal finances and even finances for the business. It teaches you how to be a good member of the society because you're thinking, what problems can I solve for my community? It also teaches you how to sell. So there's also digital marketing into it. Writing so that you know how to communicate verbally, present, have the self-confidence. Yeah, so it can prepare you for many other careers.
That's what
Another occupation.
Before you go on, I'm curious. Tell me about some of the ideas that the kids that they came up with. I'm curious. Like, were there any ones that stood out to you?
So one I really liked was a student said they wanted to create an app. I think it was about booking for holidays, which is kind of like booking.com.
Okay.
But they had not heard of booking.com before. They just came up with the idea because they've experienced within their own family, they had hardships, getting bookings for hotels, travel vehicles, even trustworthy people, tour guides who can help you. So they felt that if probably an app can be a solution and sell it among, family members who love travel. Yeah. And then there was another student who was 12 years at the time who came up with the idea of having a bakery for themselves and their community around, selling, I think they were healthy cookies or something like that. Okay. They wanted to sell their own cookies. One was already in business that was in the program, and she was doing beauty. So she talked about her own business. Her mother had been supporting her, selling beauty stuff, the lipsticks and all that. Yeah.
Are you finding, I'm curious, what is the entrepreneurial energy like with the youth in Kenya? Are they excited about starting businesses, or they see that as an opportunity to be that breakthrough, potentially in their family? Is that how they're viewing it, the view of it?
Okay, so let me talk about a class, yeah? So out of maybe a class of 30 students that I've worked with in the career mentorship program, I could say around 10 would say they want to start off with entrepreneurship. So that's a good number in my mind. I'm just thinking this is a really good number because young people are thinking they know, they have it, they got it. So I think young people really need that support to develop that entrepreneurship spirit.
Yeah. And you know what we found, like with schools that use our curriculum, that entrepreneurship can be that gateway to teach so many other subject matters, because it's just the inherent nature of an entrepreneurial project is like, it's personalized. It's like, I care about this problem, or I noticed this problem, or I saw this opportunity, and then now we can teach marketing through that. Now we can teach math through that. Like we can teach science through that. Like there's so many different ways that you just kind of use that as like, you want to start this business, but we can maneuver in other ways. Yeah, I love it. So tell me about what are your plans for the future, Edna? Like, what are you saying for the future of your company, of your organization?
It's quite ambitious. Yeah, but honestly, if you were to ask me sincerely, I would say when I grow up, I want to be like CTE, your organization. Seriously.
No, you're doing.
It's not a joke. It's serious.
Yeah, honestly, from what I've seen by like really looking over your website, the impact that you're making, I was super excited to get the chance to talk to you, because you're doing the work. And one of the things I like to say is like, you start where you start, but it turned into something so much larger than yourself, when you just had an
Yeah,
idea and
true.
now you're serving over 400, students across the country. That just, it lets you know that there's the need for what it is that you're doing. There's a
Yeah.
tremendous need for what you're doing, and you found that angle. Like, if kids are burning down schools, and then because they're disengaged with curriculum, but then when they come across you
Mhm.
and your program, then now they're excited about learning, they're excited about career mentorship, career exploration.
Yeah, yeah,
That means you've checked the box, you
yeah,
know. I'm
yeah.
curious. I'm curious. What do the schools say when you come into, like, when you start working with their students? What do the schools say?
Well, I'm glad you've asked that question because it was coming out of my mouth actually. I just remember this. Can you hear me well? I've
Yes,
had to hold my
right
mic
there.
up here because, okay, so I'll hold it here. So this January, students are opening school, and in my private Instagram, a student reached out to me and asked, Madam Edna, when are you coming back and restarting your program? And I said, I will be coming back. Don't worry. I'm still speaking with the administration because I've been speaking to the schools. We need to restart the program, and it's taking a little bit of a while to restart the program since it fell apart in 2020.
Mhm.
And I asked, so are you really missing the program that much? And, he said, yes, we're feeling a bit discouraged and we just need somebody to come and motivate us about our future and encourage us. And that's not the first student who has reached out to me and shown they're really interested in the program. During the time I was consistently holding the weekly sessions in school, I would hold parent meetings at the end of the term just to get their feedback on their students and what they feel the impact of the career program has been to the students. And most parents all the time would come back and say, our children are more interested in their lives. They're not wasting their time. They're asking questions. Yeah, and that to me was good. And the school themselves, they felt really happy because some parents brought their student to that school because they had their career training in the program. I mean, in the school. So for me, that's the unintended impact,
Yeah.
but it's a really amazing impact, and I love to hear it. I get text messages from students that I taught in 2019 who are doing great stuff right now. And I think the most important thing is the clarity they get about what they can do in their future, how to handle their different opportunities, and the confidence they have about being able to sell their best strengths, which we take them through, helping them to discover that. Yeah, so
I mean, I
I
think
could
it's,
talk about this the whole night long.
no, no,
I'm
no, no,
sorry,
no.
it's night in Nairobi right now. I know it's
It's okay.
daytime.
So right now it's lunchtime here. And what time is
Yeah,
it?
it's
What time
9
is it?
p.m.
9 p.m. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I do want to, I think it's important that I end on this point. Like, the big problem that you told me about that you're really trying to solve is that there's such high unemployment for those high school age people in the country. Is that correct?
Yeah, post high school. Most
Post
post
high
high school
school.
students are what we call NEET, NEET.
Mhm.
They end up, most of them end up being not in employment, not in education, and not in training. Because post high school, you'd expect a student is either jumping into some form of employment that they know they can sustain themselves,
Okay.
or they're going into further education, or they're picking up some training, like maybe vocational training, something to help them skill up so that they can be employable for a longer time and they can get income or jobs that are family sustaining, because that's where they're heading anyway.
Mhm. And you told
So
me
you,
you told me earlier, like,
mm.
So some students that come out of your program, you're trying to pipeline them into, I think you said an engineering
Yes.
partnership that you have, like after they come through your program, and maybe
Yeah.
uh, moving them to digital marketing careers or data analysis. These are some of the
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Go
Four
share.
careers. The four careers we're looking at. Is this clear when I let it go?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the four careers we're looking at is engineering, digital marketing, data analysis, and entrepreneurship. We could look into other areas, but I feel like these are the careers that prepare them for all the future changes that are ongoing. Yeah. Engineering will never die, and digital marketing has such a huge potential, data analysis as well, and entrepreneurship, just to give them their 2 feet. Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Edna, I know it's 9 o'clock there, and I'm not going to hold you up. You probably had a long day. And
It's all right.
I thank you for sharing and sharing with the community. And I think this was insightful for a lot of our people here stateside to see that, like, we're all dealing with the same issues of,
Yeah.
like, personalizing this learning with our students and trying to find ways to create engagement within career and tech education. So thank you so much for the work you're doing in Nairobi, Kenya, and to your team, your teachers, your schools, and your students. And I look forward to hearing more about your success in the future. If people want to follow you or reach out, like, how can we find more information? Can you share a little?
Yes, I invite those who want to follow me. It's Edna Semiti on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I'm more active on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
For ZinduaKaria, well, you'd have to get the spelling right first. So it's ZinduaKaria. So check us out on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. We have a website. It's ZinduaKariaAfrica.org. And if you'd like to email us, you can write to hello@ZinduaKaria.org. So looking forward to hear from you guys.
Thank you so much, Edna, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember, as I always say, you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. Peace.